And every hunting incident that takes place, regardless of when or where it takes place, is a violation of one or more of the 4 basic rules of firearm safety. Always treat firearms as if they're loaded. Always point the muzzle in a safe direction. Be certain of your target and what's beyond it. And keep your finger outside the trigger guard until you're ready to shoot. Now, to elaborate just a little bit about that, you can use whatever letters or words you want to remember that. Tab K is what we teach in Wisconsin, but you can use anything you wish. T, treat every firearm as if it's loaded. Anytime you touch a firearm, you should always either request that the action be opened so that you can visually see that it's not loaded before you accept it, or open the action yourself and visually and physically check that to make sure it's not loaded. And then the second thing, A, always point your muzzle in a safe direction. If it goes off, unbeknownst to you, an unwanted discharge, if the muzzle is in a safe direction, no one will be harmed. And that's why you should always pay attention to where your muzzle's at. B, be certain of your target and what's beyond it. It's not good enough to think that you were shooting at a turkey, to think you were shooting at a deer, to think you were shooting at a goose or a duck or whatever else you might be shooting at. You must know and you must be right. And not only what you're shooting at, but you must have a safe backstop for your bullet or your projectiles when you shoot, because sometimes they go through the animal or you miss. And if you're shooting at an animal that's standing on top of a hill and there's blue sky behind it, that bullet goes somewhere and you're responsible for it. And the last one, K, keep your finger outside the trigger guard until you're ready to shoot. That's specifically in the basic rules of firearm safety for self-inflicted injuries. The only way firearms go off, 99.999% of the time, it's not because the gun did something wrong or the gun malfunctioned. It's the nut behind the trigger that either had his finger inside the trigger guard or actually dropped it and a twig or something hit that trigger at the same time. There's a reason they call it trigger guard. It's there to protect anything and everything from touching that trigger when it's not needed to be touched. So tab K, treat every firearm as if it's loaded. Always point your muzzle in a safe direction. Be certain of your target and what's beyond it. Keep your finger outside the trigger guard until you're ready to shoot.